welcome to our workshop for this month. We're going to be talking about 3 simple strategies to make your book and brand shine. So I really appreciate all of you for being here today. And I want you to bring all your questions, curiosity, open mind, all that kind of stuff. If you do have questions as Melanie's, as we're talking, go ahead and put them in the chat so that we make sure and capture those questions and they don't get lost in the shuffle somewhere. And then we're going to have some time afterwards for some questions. Okay, so today our guest of honor is Melanie Herschorn. Hi, Melanie. And Melanie is a book marketing expert. So I'm going to read her intro so y'all know who she is and why she's here to talk to us. Melanie Herschorn wants to make your book and brand shine. As a nonfiction and children's book marketing strategist for authors, coaches, consultants, and speakers worldwide, she's on a mission to support and empower her clients to create clear messaging and content that helps them share their mission with the world. Sounds like us, right? Using her unique combination of entrepreneurship, award-winning journalism, and PR experience, Melanie guides her clients to create brand awareness, sell books, and position themselves as subject matter experts. She also loves to provide book marketing tips and interview authors on her show, Authority Marketing Live. So, Melanie, welcome.
Thank you so much. I am so excited to see all these smiling faces. It's very nice to know that not only are you authors, but that you're excited to do the marketing too, because that's a very important piece of things.
Right. I mean, I think we think of the book writing as the hard part, but and not that it's the hard part, but where the majority of the work is. But the work continues for the life of your book, as many of us know who are already published authors. And for those of us who are not yet published authors, I really am glad that you're here, because it's never too early, too soon to start thinking about marketing. Right, Melanie?
Absolutely. And not just thinking about it, actually doing it.
Doing it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Coming up with the plan and actually doing it. So glad you're here with us today, Melanie. And we're excited to hear about your expertise and the tips that you can give us to bring our books to the world, whether they're brand new or if they've been out there for a while.
Yes, absolutely. So the marketing never has to stop. You know, you might want to work with Amy and do a second edition if your book is like, you know, older and some of the statistics or some of the stories wouldn't really resonate anymore. But definitely you can keep on marketing. So if it's okay, I'd like to share my screen.
Yes, I think I've got it set up so you can do that, Melanie.
Yes. And because I have 3 screens, I have perpetual trouble. So you guys are going to see it like this, but then I'm going to make it look good. So give me 1 second.
Okay. We're a very informal and forgiving group, Melanie. So
Okay, so can you see it now? And it's just 3 simple marketing strategies. Okay, awesome. I'm going to move you guys onto a different screen so I can see everything that I'm doing. All right, fantastic. So as Amy said, as we go, if you have questions, like if it's a burning question and you just can't wait, Amy, just interrupt me.
Okay.
But I'm not going to be able to see the chat where I am right now. So
I'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so we're looking at a red carpet. This is where I started my career. I was walking celebrities up and down red carpets in Hollywood. And I learned a heck of a lot, including the fact that I don't want to do this when I grow up. So I moved on to journalism, and I got a master's degree in journalism, and I worked in radio news and as a newspaper reporter. And then when I had my first child, I had an idea. And I jumped into entrepreneurship head first and feet first, if that's possible at the same time. And I designed and manufactured breastfeeding clothing. And I sold my clothes on Nordstrom.com and on Amazon and in boutiques in Canada and the US. And then I hired someone to help me with my marketing. And that was the beginning of the end of my business. She was kind of mean, and it was a toxic relationship, and she belittled me at every chance she got. And I started to believe what she said. And eventually I got to the point where I couldn't actually go into my home office. I had so much anxiety around it. And so shortly thereafter, I closed the business. And then I thought, what do I do now? I always need to be doing something. It's like I live by the no grass grows under my feet kind of motto. And I realized that marketing was something that it was almost like a woven in through everything that I had ever done in my career. And I thought, well, not only can I do marketing, but I can help people always feel supported and never be made to feel like I was feeling at the time, which was about an inch tall. And then eventually authors started calling me. I mean, literally out of the blue. I had an author call me and say, hey, Mel, I know you do marketing and I'm going to write a book. Can you help me? And I went, oh, I can help you. And that was where VIP book marketing kind of came to be. And so now that is what I do. I am all in, feet first, head first, same time. And so it's nonfiction and children's book authors. I help authors develop their authority, build brand awareness, sell books. And I think most importantly, help you bring to life the mission that is the reason you wrote the book in the first place. So today, I don't want anybody to be shoulding all over themselves, going, oh, I should have been doing this all along, whatever. No, today we're clean slate, we're starting. This is going to be some really good tips for you to begin to start today. So the question that I get most is, well, I wrote a book, but now what? And so today we're going to kind of answer that question. Now what? You are going to learn how to get tons of social media content from your book, tools to establish credibility with your content, how to effectively nurture your audience, and so much more, because we'll be answering lots of questions. Do we have a question right now? There's some, no, okay. Facts versus myths. Now, I run into a lot of myths surrounding being an author, being published, and marketing your book. So one of the big myths is that if you are an Amazon bestseller, then you have done your book marketing. That's it, the end. And that is not right. It is not true. I once asked a publisher, what happens when, you know, everybody really catches on that this is just what it is. It's a nice to have, but not a must have. And he said, well, we're just going to prolong it as long as we can. I said, well, okay, I get it. But to me, it's really about authentically building your brand and really being who you are and sharing all the great stuff that you have in the book, and less about walking around going, I'm a best-selling author. I mean, that's great, but it's not going to sell books for you. And, you know, you're also up against all the other people who say they're Amazon best-selling authors. So that is one myth about becoming an author. Another is that if you write the book, all of a sudden everybody's going to go buy it. That doesn't happen. You need to have an audience of excited people who want to buy the book from you. And that is what the marketing can help with, is growing that audience. And another myth is that once you write the book and you publish the book and nobody likes it, that after 3 months, it's time to give up. No, it is not time to give up. When you keep going, that's when you see the difference. So there are about 4 million books published every year. That's including, you know, just those that are uploaded to Amazon and what have you. So how do you stand out from all the other books that are published? Well, You can throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks, but that isn't always the best idea, because if you're just posting on Instagram and then you're kind of just hoping for the best, or you're putting something out on LinkedIn and you think, oh yeah, that's going to be it, and you do it one time, or maybe your messaging doesn't really resonate with your ideal reader, you're just wasting your time. And I would rather you just spend time doing something else, like activities that help you make money. But when you do it the right way, you grow that audience, and you have people who are really excited to hear from you and to learn from you and to do all, get into your ecosystem and be part of your orbit. There was once an author that I met with, and she is like literally the quintessential what not to do. And so I like to tell this story. I will never name her. In fact, I don't even remember her name because I just don't want to, because I don't want her to be embarrassed or anything like this. But we met because she was referred to me. What she told me was, I hired a PR firm and I was on 18 different media outlets, and I think I need marketing help. And I said, okay, well, tell me more, because that's amazing. The publicist did a phenomenal job. Like 18 outlets is really great. And one of them was a big morning show. And unfortunately, what happened was she hadn't actually sold more than 100 books over the course of that year. And, we could probably sell 100 books to our friends and family and just, walking down the street. But paying all that money for a publicist and not really seeing the return on investment, she wondered why. And when I took a look at her website, it was blatantly clear to me, and the answer was her messaging. The messaging was so confusing. Not only did I not know what she did for a living, I didn't know what her book was about, and I didn't understand what she was putting out on Facebook. So when you confuse people, they're not going to stick around. I mean, you probably know this. If you ever come across something that you're scrolling online, are you going to sit there and try to really figure it out? No, you're not. You got better things to do. We're busy people. But there's so much noise out online. There's so much noise. So our goal as book marketers, and let me tell you, the minute you write a book and become an author, you become a marketer too, because you are your best marketer. Because of all this noise, you have to figure out how to do something that is going to make people notice you and what you stand for, and then ultimately buy your book. Now, a lot of us don't have brick and mortar stores where we can, have somebody come in and pick it up and take a look and go, oh, how much does this calculator cost? It's really everything that we have to show is our content. It's what we put out online. So having the basis of a marketing plan, having that foundational piece, that is what helps you stand out from all those 399,000. I'm not great with numbers in my head, but you know what I'm saying. The other almost 4 million. Yes, I did well in math, just not mental math. So let's talk mission. What is your mission? Why did you write your book? What do you hope to achieve? What is your purpose? I told you what my mission is. It's to support authors, to help make this world a better place, and to do it in a way that's supportive instead of tearing people down. So what is your mission? If anybody wants to put their mission in the chat, I would love to read them. And actually, I can probably show, I don't know if you guys can see, I probably can't see this. So yes, can you please, anybody put in the chat, what is your mission? And we'll read those out, because those are vital. Ooh, Amy, to raise the positive vibration of the planet. I love that. Anyone else?
Some people typing. Come on, don't be shy, y'all.
Oh, yes. Okay. To give people who want or need to travel alone the courage and skills to make it happen. All right, I'm going to press you on this, Jody. Why?
Because I have traveled alone and met so many people who also either wanted or needed to travel alone, but were scared or didn't know where to start. And the richness of life that I got from doing that is something that I would love for other people to experience. And also because I know I've had so many people ask me, how do you do this? How do you do this? And I think there's a huge market for it. It's just a matter of convincing people and guiding people there.
Well, keep sharing your mission, because then you don't have to convince them. You just share it and people. Right. Okay, so Vicky says, serving millions of people and animals. Oh, I lost it. To have healthy, harmonious, happy lives together. Anne says to provide people with a simple and easy way to do self-care. Ooh, Anne, can you unmute?
Yes.
Please tell me why people need simple and easy ways to do self-care.
So the simple and easy way, first of all, is watching movies and especially journaling about them, but they need it because maybe they can't afford more expensive forms of self-care. And
but why you? Why are you sharing this?
Because I have my own mental health challenges and symptoms, and I know it can be expensive to try to do things like yoga or different exercise programs and things like that. Well, exercise is important. A lot of things with self-care are expensive, so
it's more like simple and affordable.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, thank you for sharing that story. I really appreciate that. Sheila says to give hope, validation, understanding, and support to grievers going through the journey of losing the most valuable person or people in their lives. Oh, wow, Sheila, thank you. That's a big one. So thank you all for sharing. I do appreciate that. I know that putting you on the spot isn't always fun, but I enjoy hearing everybody's stories. Because your story matters. I'm just going to show you this napkin. Your story matters. Your story is what will enroll people in your mission. Because, anybody can hold up a book. This is not a book, but I'm pretending it is. Look at me. Look at my book. Yeah, sure. People will like your post, but are they going to buy your book? Probably not, unless it's your family member or your friend. And then you have to keep nudging them. Like, did you buy my book yet? No. This is really about your audience, growing an audience of raving fans, people who are so excited about what you do. So when you think about your mission, why did you write your book? You guys shared that with me, and that was wonderful, and I appreciate that. And I always want you to have that on the forefront of your mind whenever you go to do anything that has to do with content marketing, because you want to enroll your reader in your mission. That is how you make the difference, really. So let's do a little exercise, if you don't mind. Can you everybody close your eyes, please? And if you can please think about, what will it feel like when your mission deeply resonates with your reader? What will it feel like when not only are you changing the life of one person, but you're changing multiple lives, because your book is available to many. Okay, hold that thought. Hold that feeling. Amy's raising vibrations, and so are we. Okay, when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Feels good, right? You're here for a reason. So let's share that. Your book is just the beginning. You can, I don't know if you can see this. I have to move you guys again. Sorry. Okay, so here is what your book will do for you. We're going to sell books, right? Speak on stages, fill programs, book more one-on-one clients, all this stuff is possible for you when you market your book. You know, you're speaking on podcasts and you're telling people about the mission of your book, and more than that, because right, often we use the book as a tool to change the world. And that is what is available to you. You know, speaking on stages, telling people about why you've written this book and what you hope to achieve. You know, if we go back to some of the things. So Anne's speaking on stage and she's telling people, you know, self-care doesn't have to be expensive to work. And here's why. Sheila is standing on stage, giving people hope, validation, and understanding. People who are grieving, she's changing their lives and giving them hope. So all that stuff, that's what you do with your book. And I'll just give you a couple of examples, well, I guess not a couple, 4, of clients and what marketing can do for you. So I had a client, Lindsay, who was just throwing random stuff on Instagram and wondering why nothing was happening. And she is, I mean, talk about 4 different people with completely different books. So Lindsay is a hypnofertility specialist. She helps women get and stay pregnant. And she was able to boost her Instagram engagement when she started implementing an engagement strategy. And that's one of the important things when you are marketing your book. You want people to engage with you and you engage with them. It can't just be like posting and walking away. My client, Mike, who is a financial advisor, wrote a book for other financial advisors so that they could learn how to retain clients instead of having to keep getting new ones. And when he stopped being a lurker on LinkedIn and actually started posting on LinkedIn, he started getting invites to speak on stages for paid speaking engagements. My client Lynn is a children's book author, and she fully funded her $16,000 Kickstarter campaign because of all the marketing that we implemented. And my client David is an olive oil expert. And if you guys have never looked into olive oil, what we get here in the US is not what we should be getting. And it's a very interesting, go down that rabbit hole, I recommend it. So anyway, he had 1,200 pre-sales and he got on the Kelly Clarkson show. So all these things are possible for you, but if you don't market, they aren't. So think about some of these things. You can become a thought leader. Yes, it's true. You're not going to wake up tomorrow morning and go, I'm a thought leader now. It's not exactly like that. But what you will be is a subject matter expert, because you'll be like, hey, guess what? I know all about underwater basket weaving and I wrote the book on it. And when you have marketing, the plan, the whole strategy, then you have a rinse and repeat system. Because think about it, your book is really a treasure trove of content. You just have to pull it out and do the right things with it. And that's about saving time and money, because marketing is going to be a constant. And if you aren't doing things in a planned way, you're just kind of wasting time and wasting money. I mean, there are a lot of people who I have worked with who have said, I worked with a social media marketer and I didn't know what they were doing and they didn't know what they were doing. And I paid them a lot of money and nothing happened. And unfortunately, that is very common. And that is why when I work with clients, so much of what I do is showing you how to do it. And so that you know what you need to know, because sometimes as authors, we come in, we don't know what we don't know. We don't know what we don't know. So that's why you have to find guidance that is actually going to be helpful for you. And when you have a book marketing plan, you can get that peace of mind, because you'll realize that you've got this, that the machine is working. And as long as you keep it going, you're going to start seeing the fruits of your labor. So let's talk about strategy. If you want, you can always screenshot these if you believe that will help you. So feel free to do that. Strategy number 1 is how to get a month's worth of content from your book so that you can have social media posts at the ready. Now, I've got 9 social media platforms here. I wouldn't recommend all 9 at the same time because we don't need to be everywhere. You really only need to be where your ideal readers are. So if your ideal readers are Fortune 500, C-suite people, then I would stick with LinkedIn because that's probably where they're going to be. They're likely not on Pinterest. So here are some great suggestions. Each chapter topic can be its own post. You can pull out a background story from your introduction. If you've got an introduction that kind of says why you do what you do and where you started, those things are wonderful for repurposing. Do you have quotes in your book? Have you quoted famous people? Have you quoted yourself? Those are awesome to repurpose into your social media and then give little explanations about why it is you have this quote. And then, of course, this is a great one. If you have clients and you have featured their stories, their wins, and their transformations, absolutely reshare those because those are going to be more credibility and more proof that you are really great at what you do. And that's why people should buy the book and fill your programs and all that fun stuff. So if you have any stories, any personal stories that illustrate your mission, anything that can really illustrate your mission, I'm going back to mission, that is also going to get, people are going to resonate with that and they're going to be really interested to know more. And if you have any reviews of your book, testimonials, those are wonderful things to reshare and, make them feel new again. So it doesn't have to be a post like, so-and-so thinks I'm great. Here's the review. You can break it up and use it. I mean, if you ever watch a movie and then they have in a commercial, sorry, let me try this again. A movie commercial, and I don't mean the trailer. I mean, when they say like, this movie's coming out, so-and-so from Rolling Stone said, it's great. You can pull out some quotes. The person from Rolling Stone might have said it's great garbage and you shouldn't watch it, but they just pulled out the it's great part. And so you can, I wouldn't go that loosey-goosey with it, but you definitely can pull out quotes and from reviews and testimonials and reshare those. And then you start to see people liking your stuff and people commenting on your stuff because you're really sharing great content. And then you want to establish your credibility with your content. So sure, you're an author. That means you're credible in what you do. But if nobody knows about your book, it's like that tree falling in the forest thing. Did anyone hear it? So to establish credibility with your content, you're going to want to provide some value. And so what I mean by that is creating thought leader content. That can be in the form of blog posts, it can be in the form of articles, it can be in the form of white papers. And the one we're going to go a little bit deeper on is opt-ins, which are also called freebies or lead magnets. And, just to give you, here, I'm just going to stop and see if anybody. Okay, how much content is a month's worth? Every day, once a week. Okay, Jody, well, how much time? I want you to just think about, can you do 3 days a week? Can you do 5 days a week? What is something that that would fit in with your schedule? I mean, if you can start with 2-3 days a week, that's great. So thank you for asking that question.
Thank you.
So lead magnets in depth here. So here's an example of a fake lead magnet that I made, and it's 5 top tips to help you grow your business and sign more clients with ease. So somebody gets really excited because this is exactly what they needed, and they go and they download it, and then you have their email address. And so how does this work for your book? Well, if you have a lead magnet right now, think about whether people are downloading it. Remember, this is a judgment-free zone. So if they are, great. And if they're not, that's okay too. But when you create a lead magnet that's based on your book, I recommend not giving out the first chapter. Nobody wants to read that, except maybe your friend. Maybe. I mean, when I've written stuff, I've had to like beg my husband to read it. I had to literally like email it to him, text it to him, and then open it up on his phone and hold it in front of his face so that he'll read it. But if somebody really wants to learn from you, think about what you can offer them that's a step before the book. So for example, my forthcoming book is about marketing book, and my lead magnet is basically the checklist, a book marketing checklist that you need to know. So I'm not giving it all away, I'm just giving a bit away. If you are a life coach and you've written a book on work-life balance, well, what about a quick win, something that they can do and implement in 24 to 72 hours? And it could be like how to journal correctly in the morning. So it's a step before. So I feel bad maybe, but I'm going to call out on, let's see, who can I call out? I guess I'm going to call out, 1 second, go in the chat again. Well, I guess Anne, if it's okay, I'm going to call on you again. You don't have to unmute though, but it's like, so Anne, let's say Anne's written a book about how to have simple and affordable self-care. Well, that's the whole book, right? So she doesn't want to give away the book, but what could be a good step prior to that would be like, 3 things to give you self-care that you already have in your house, something like that. So it's an easy piece that makes them go, oh, this worked. Anne is totally an expert. I need to see what else she offers. Oh, she has a book. Okay, I need to buy that book because look how great it was when I just did this small thing. Now I can do a bigger thing. And yes, a book is not a high ticket item, but people, you never know when people are going to pull out their credit card. So you want to give them a reason to do it. So it's a win-win because you've given them a small win and then they get the book and then they win again. And then when you have this book, I'm sorry, not book. I say book a lot when I don't mean book, it's just always in my head. When you have this lead magnet, you want to put the landing page to it everywhere. And by landing page, I showed you a landing page. I'll go back to it. Let me see if I can go. No, it's not going to let me go back. Anyway, it was the thing that said download now. That's the landing page. So put that link everywhere. I actually offer my lead magnet in a post once a week, and every week somebody new downloads it. So keep sharing it. And then you become like this guy who's signing books because people are excited. They're excited because they already know a little bit about you because they've downloaded your lead magnet and they really want to know what else you have going on. So I want to give you the book marketing checklist that I offer. And so you can scan it, or you can go to vipdigital.live/checklist and you can download it right there. And it is called your ultimate book marketing checklist. And it is what it is. It is a checklist to help you with your book marketing. Let's see what's in the chat right now. Oh, yes, we only need Anne's book. Yes. Yes. Okay. So now let's talk about the third strategy, nurturing your audience with email marketing. Now, in this case, I've pretended that Oprah signed up for our for our lead magnet because why not? So, when you sign up for something, you get an email and here it is. So what happens is you need to create an email sequence, because if you only send one email or you send 0 emails, then you are really just doing yourself a disservice. Only 58% of companies actually send welcome emails to new subscribers. And what's crazy is that it will have pretty much the highest open rates of any email that you'll ever send. So what I often recommend is when you do have a freebie, don't let the person download it right from the page. Wait, let them have to open your email. They'll get used to opening your emails. And it's not as if, if they get the thing, because everybody's online, one reason. The only thing going through their mind, I know I'm reducing us to goldfish here, but what we're really on our mind is, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? So if you make them wait and make them open the email, they'll go, oh, okay, I remember Amy's name. Oh, it's that freebie I've been waiting for. Okay. And then when they get an email from Amy tomorrow, it's not going to be, who is this? Spam, unsubscribe, none of that. Because they'll go, oh, I remember. So it's really about getting people into a habit. And then you can create long-term loyalty and deep relationships with your email list. I'll tell you, when I send out an email to my list and I ask a question, I get a lot of answers, and I have about 3,000 people on my list. So you guys know this picture? It's Meta. Here's the thing. We do not own our social media followers. We are parking our cars in the metaverse parking lot, hoping not to get towed. You may know someone whose account was shut down for no apparent reason. I have a friend who's an influencer on Instagram, and one day her followers just couldn't see what she was doing because the algorithm had changed. And I said to her, well, don't you have an email list? Naively. And she said, no. I said, okay, it's time. In the end, she said she had about 1,000 people on her email list, but at the time she had 42,000 followers. So just think of what she's missing because of an algorithm change. All of a sudden, people are not going to see it. And, these algorithms are really not our friends. About 10 years ago, if you had a Facebook page, an author page or a business page, people who liked it would see what you were posting. But now, unless you pay, they're not going to see anything. But emails keep you top of mind. And emails are also more intimate. So you are addressing an email to me, right? When I open it, it says, hi, Melanie. As opposed to when I'm looking on Facebook and it's just like randomly put out there for whoever to take in. And how often do you open email in bed? Maybe in the bathtub, maybe on the toilet, you're reading email. It's pretty intimate and it's addressed to you. So you really can sell right from your email list if you've nurtured it. So some of the questions that I get often about email is, well, how often do I have to email people? Does somebody just put that in the chat? No, I'm trying to put, the link. Oh, it's not coming up. Oh, that's strange. Okay. Well, let me, I'll get that to you at the end. Don't worry. So how often do you email? Once a week? Every other week? What feels comfortable for you? And it's all about what you email. So if you're sending somebody, or your list rather, an email that says, buy my book every week, I don't think they're going to stick around. But if we go back to the mission and providing value, heck yeah, they're going to stick around. And then if the third email or the fourth email that you send says, and if you want to know more, here's a book, chances are they're going to be a lot more interested in that book after you've warmed them up, shown them all your amazingness, and explain to them why they need to get on board with your mission. So here is the not so secret trick to standing out from the competition. Ready? It's like going to be the biggest letdown, guys. I'm sorry. Consistency. And this is, I can't underscore this enough. I call consistency the granny panties of marketing because it's so boring, but it's necessary. When you show up for your people, they respond in kind. If you throw that spaghetti at the wall and you post on Tuesday and then you forget for the next 3 years, you're not going to be there. So when you show up regularly and you provide greatness, that's when you're on the stages selling your books. So that is the difference, is the messaging, providing value, and being consistent. If you are ready to share your mission with the world and you would like to hop on a clarity call with me, you are super welcome to do that. And I'm going to put the link in the chat for that as well. It's vipdigital.live/clarity call. And now we have a Q&A. And so what I'd love to know first off is, what is one action that you are going to take today? So if you want to put that in the chat, that'd be awesome. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Melanie, thank you for all of that. And I can't wait to see what everybody's going to do.
Are these clickable? Oh, these are not clickable. Pardon me. Let me get them clickable for you.
Yeah, you've got to put the HTTPS stuff.
Yeah, I thought I had, but it's, I love power. I love the theory of PowerPoint, but somehow it always messes up my. Okay, there we go. Okay, do this again. Yes, I love that you're going to post your lead magnet in more places. That is vital. Yay, Jody, that's awesome. Yes. Pulling out things right from your book because you have it. Sarah, I'm going to look at what chapter. Okay, that's wonderful, Sarah. Thank you for sharing that. Sheila says, reach out to people I've supported for their success story. Oh, yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and that's before the book is published.
Amazing.
So keep in mind, you know what your topics are, you know what your passions are. You can start talking about those and even start talking about what the process of writing your book is like. Or starting your book or thinking about starting your book. People get really excited when you announce. I did this last year when I announced my second book that was coming out, and it was like, I got tons of engagement on that.
Absolutely. Okay.
And people would ask me about it all the time. So it's an accountability piece too.
It's true. It is. And people want to cheer you on. They don't, they're happy for you. They're excited. They don't all know authors. They're not like us who can, go on a Zoom call and be surrounded by amazing authors. To them, it's a big excitement. So don't underestimate your amazingness.
Great advice. Alexandra says, collect my testimonials in one place. Love
Very
that.
important.
Michael says, I'm going to keep brainstorming on a book to write. You got so many ideas, Michael. Vicky says, I'm going to create a marketing plan with topics from my books. Yeah, excellent. Vicky has 3 books to choose from. So
amazing.
Anne's going to look for quotes to share. All kinds of good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so if you guys can click on the clarity call and make sure that it works, and then if somebody can click on the book marketing checklist to make sure that works, please. I put in like the lead pages one, like the raw.
The book marketing checklist does work. I did it.
Okay.
And so does the clarity call.
Thank you. All right, wonderful. So who has questions?
Anne, go ahead. Can unmute.
Actually, I just was waving goodbye. I gotta
Bye.
go.
Oh.
Have a good one, everybody.
Thanks, Sam.
Bye.
Thanks for being here.
Mine's not really necessarily a question, but it's an observation, because my mission, I think there's a deeper iteration of it.
What is it now?
It's helping millions of people and animals live happy, healthy, harmonious lives
Okay.
together. So my mission is really reaching and making a big impact with the quality of life with people and
Okay.
I've got 3 books. The consistent theme is all about that connection, that relationship, which makes them then happy and healthy and quality of life, But that's what kind of came out from this today. It's like, I think I need to go deeper.
Okay. Now tell me, is it like one book is about animals and people, one book is about people? Like how are they?
They're all 3. I'm licensed and healing and massage, acupressure, Reiki, different modalities. And so this one is about the life cycle of your pet. So there's a different chapter for each stage. So no matter where you are with your pet, even before you get one, and then all the way to them transitioning and how to make that a peaceful, sacred time, so anywhere in there. The first one is about more like behavioral and communicating how the animals think and that kind of thing. So, and energy management. And then my third one is all about balancing your pet's chakras, what's people and the chakras. So it's a system, but it's all healing. It's all wellness protocols, just different modalities.
Okay, so let me ask you some questions. Why do you do this?
Well, I feel like it's my calling. It's important to me.
Sure. Okay. Why?
And it's I feel like a lot of animals are misunderstood. And it's important to me to be the voice for the animal and for them to educate the people how to help their animals have their best lives.
Okay, so I have a cat and a dog, and I'm obsessed
Okay.
with pets, but why are you the one doing this? Why are you called to do this? Did something happen in your childhood? Did you have a pet that changed your life?
Oh, okay. Yes, I've had a childhood experience and an adult experience.
Share those. Tell me. Or well, we
Okay,
don't
so the
have time.
childhood
Share
experience,
them.
yeah, so the childhood experience was I had a kitten, I was 11 years old, that got distemper, which was a death sentence, and wasn't expected to live a week. And I did what was natural to me. And I could feel, I didn't have language at the time as a child, but time stood still. We're in this healing orb, and my kitten lived many more healthy years.
Okay, you gotta start with that. So I'm picturing an 11-year-old little girl, an 11-year-old Vicky, who, I just all of a sudden, my daughter's 11, so I'm just picturing my daughter with our kitten. Like that's the kind of thing that's going to get people enrolled in your mission. Because when you're kind of vague, well, I want them to be harmonious. Like people don't necessarily take the time to find out what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So that's great. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. Can I share the adult story real quick? Because early on in my healing career, because I went off in computers, and then it was like, no, I've got to have animals in my life. That's where I'm supposed to be helping them. My own cat had a day left to live. There was a mass. Cats hide their issues, and then so then again, doing what was natural to me. I did not go get it tested, but my cat lived 4.5 more quality years, breathing easily, because the modalities, the lump had shifted, got her back to life. So, that extra quality of life is what's so important to me, the extra time
That's fantastic.
with our pets.
Tell those stories, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
So this is fantastic advice.
Hi, Vaughn. I haven't
Because-
seen you in years.
Fun.
Man.
This is the origin stories that I'm always talking about. This is one of the first things that people write in the coaching program. They, we get clarity on all the things, just like you talked about, Melanie, with your mission, your ideal readers, your goals as an author. And then that first thing is like, why are you writing it? So you guys all have that mission, that origin story. And if you're not telling it, like this is something that just came about for me too, where I sort of stumbled across my origin story. I didn't even know that it was my origin story. But when I tell it, it's just, people are really drawn in and they relate to it. They can connect to it. They see themselves in my story.
Yeah.
And that is the secret. When your ideal readers see you guys as a mirror for them, they're definitely going to be reading your book.
Do we have any other questions?
Other questions? Alexandra had one about, she says, mine is also more of a comment. Any comments on that squishy zone of getting from awareness/engagement to translation into sales?
I believe that they happen simultaneously, but it does take time. I mean, marketing is definitely a long game. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. So you just have to keep going. And I mean, I guess, what are your book sales right now?
Oh, that's, yeah.
Okay. Well,
But the second follow-up question to that comment really is like, so what kind of tripwires can I set for myself to determine when I should try something slightly different or to tweak what it is I'm doing? Like what are some ways to check in so that I'm not just continuing to persist when maybe it might be a good move to try some different things, right? So I understand that that's the squishy part of it. Like nobody can give me a concrete answer. Well, if you do it for 27 days and 3 hours,
try 3 months. Try 3 months. Try for 3 months. Try being consistent for 3 months. But make sure that your messaging is clear before you start doing that, because again, you're not going to have the results you're looking for if you're confusing people, like that lady I told you about, who kind of, I mean, just to be like, her book was about something I don't even remember, but her website said, live your best life, which means nothing. And everyone went, oh, I don't care.
Mhm.
So you have to be really clear in your messaging. What's your book about?
getting from an idea to an actual book manuscript.
Ooh,
Yeah,
be clear about that. So you're a writer, so be clear about
Yeah.
that. So do that, but be clear. Ask somebody who's your ideal reader. Is this clear? Does this make sense to you? And if they say yes, that's good. But don't ask your best friend, because your best friend will not be a good resource for you. Unless your best friend is a writer as well.
Well, yes. Yeah, no, I take your point. Yeah.
So Alexandra, just from seeing your social media posts and stuff like that, to me, when I see you get the most engagement is when you show an opinion, maybe even a controversial opinion, and some personality, And I
Right.
think that's probably true for all of us. When we're not trying to be too bland and appeal to every person on the planet, but like really getting to that, the person who really needs our messages. It's probably not everyone.
Yeah. Well, I thank you for that, reminder. I have more fun writing things with my personality.
There
So
you go.
that's easy enough to continue doing.
Right.
It's good to repel people who don't like your personality. I mean, we all want people to love us, right? But that's not real. Like when I was on the radio, I would get phone calls while I was on the air in the booth, people telling me I sucked. And I didn't like that, but it was good because I knew what people were thinking. And, sometimes we're afraid to ask what people are thinking, but that's how we improve.
Great advice, Melanie.
Thank
So
you.
we're at time, and I do want to finish up pretty close on time because we all are busy people with lots of stuff going. So first of all, I'm really grateful everybody showed up. Vaughn, thanks for coming on, even though you only had a few minutes. I'll be posting the recording so you can go back and watch and listen to it if you'd like to. So yeah, thank you everybody for coming. I want to mention quickly a couple of events that we have going on. Every Friday, we have a co-working event. So it's just we come on and we work together for about an hour and a half. At first, we set our attentions and then we mute our microphones and just work like crazy on whatever we want to get done. And then and maybe it's your book, maybe it's another project, maybe it's marketing. And then we wrap up at the end with what we got done. And so that's really fun. That's on our Facebook Positively Powered Authors page. It's also, I always put it in the newsletters that go out. Happy hour is every third Thursday at 6 p.m. Mountain. That's also on our Facebook page and in the newsletters. And this workshop series will continue. So I want to especially thank Melanie for being here today, giving us some great advice and really digging deep on a few topics. So I really appreciate that, Melanie, where, when you can see how it really works, it sticks with you. So that's invaluable. So next month in March, it's going to be March 21st. We're going to have Lisa Reed, and she is awesome. That's how Melanie and I met, was through this awesome speaker coach named Lisa Reed. And she's going to talk to us about how to grow our businesses through speaking. And she has this special thing that she does about monetizing a monetization formula so that we can understand how our businesses are growing through our speaking. So that's going to be fun too. I hope you all can make it that next month. And I hope to see you all soon. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm sure Melanie is happy to talk to you too. Reach out to her for a clarity call if you want to find out how you can really take your marketing to the next level. So again, thank you. Gratitude to everyone. And we'll see you again soon.
Thank you all.
Thank
Stay
you, Melanie.
positively
Thank you.
powered.
Yes, thank you, Melanie. This was great. And Amy for hosting.
You're welcome.
Thank you.